Once upon a time, there were two best friends, Ben and Max. They lived in a small village near a beautiful lake where they loved to fish. Every summer evening, they would sneak out of their houses and go to the lake to catch fish as they loved the thrill of the adventure. One bright evening, Ben and Max had something special planned. They had decided to go on a nighttime adventure to the other side of the lake, which they had never explored before. They packed their fishing gear, some food, and off they went. As they got further into the lake, they noticed that the water was strangely still, and there wasn't a single fish in sight. But they were determined to find new fishing grounds and carried on. They rowed and rowed until they saw something in the distance, a strange light that flickered through the trees. They both became curious and decided to investigate the source of the light. As they got closer to the shore, they saw an enormous waterfall cascading into a dark lagoon. Standing high above the falls was a small fisherman's cabin, which was where the mysterious light was coming from. Curious, the boys rowed towards the shore, but suddenly the boat hit something hard and they were thrown out of their boat. They swam to shore and found that they had hit a gigantic fish that was now very angry with them. They then stumbled upon a group of fish who were gathered around the fisherman's cabin. The fisherman was a man named Captain Jack, who had spent his life fishing on the lake. He had caught many different types of fish, but this one in particular was a rare and elusive fish. Jack explained to Ben and Max that this was the most challenging fish he had ever caught, and that it was the only fish that had ever outwitted him. The boys were fascinated by Jack's story, and they wanted to help him catch the fish. They knew that it would be a difficult challenge, but they were excited to get started. Jack said that the fish would only come out at night and that they needed to catch it before dawn. Jack gave the boys a boat to use, and they started their adventure. They rowed for what felt like hours, passing through the waterfall and around the lagoon. As they got closer to the other side of the lake, they saw the fisherman's cabin again, but the light wasn't there anymore. They continued rowing, and suddenly they saw a bright light that lit up the entire lake. The light was coming from the gigantic fish, the one that had outwitted Captain Jack. The fish had somehow managed to lure them to the other side of the lake, and they realized that they were in trouble. The boys were terrified, but they knew that the fisherman was counting on them, and they couldn't disappoint him. They started to make their way back to the other side of the lake, chasing the fish. The fish was fast, and they couldn't keep up. Suddenly there was a bright flash, and the boat was lifted out of the water by a rush of water. They felt like they were flying, and the fish was dragging them behind him. Finally, they caught up to the fish, and they were able to catch it in their net. They were exhausted and elated at the same time. They brought the fish back to the fisherman's cabin, and the fisherman was amazed to see the fish in their net. He was thrilled that they were finally able to catch it. Overwhelmed by their success, the boys hugged each other tightly. They were so happy that they had been able to help the fisherman catch the elusive fish. With a sense of triumph in their hearts, they headed back to the shore, excited to tell everyone about their adventure. From that day, Ben and Max became heroes of their small village. They had caught the elusive fish, and they had helped Captain Jack achieve his dream of catching it. The boys learned that sometimes a little adventure and chasing your dreams can lead to something truly remarkable. They will always cherish the memory of their adventure on the lake. This is the end of tonight's bedtime story. Good night, and have a nice dream.